We are now talking to former Jaguars, Bills kicker, and president of ProForm Kicking Academy, Mike Hollis. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on, fellas? You're quite comical. I've enjoyed the last 10 minutes of listening to you guys. Wow.
Well, we are. There is a reason why they call us the Sports Loudmouths, because we are very loud, and our guests are very loud as well. I mean, if it's not our fans, it's our guests, and we like to have fun with our guests because we want them to know that this is not like a regular radio interview. We like to have fun, and we like to enjoy. And get you feeling like this isn't one of those interviews like, I've heard this question before. How many times do I have to answer the same boring question? And then you're ready to get off. And I remember before we talk, we had, what do we have? Brandon Lloyd. Brandon Lloyd on our show, what was it, 2 weeks ago. Yep. And Brandon Lloyd, before we got him on the show, he says 15, 20 minutes the longest. He winded up staying on for almost 50 minutes.
Ovi Mohaley did the same thing.
He loved hanging out with us and having a conversation with us, and it was just it really shows what we do and driving people to actually want to stay on with us and have a good conversation. But before we get into your career and what you thought about the Super Bowl and everything else we're going to get into, tell us a little bit about your ProForm Kicking Academy and how did this get started?
Well, I played for 9 years in the NFL, and as a very small athlete on that NFL team, on the NFL field, I was 5'7", 5'8" on a really good day if you stretch me out real good, 180 pounds, and maybe a little bit above average athlete. Ultimately, it was the technique that really did it for me. I wasn't a great athlete. I played against guys that were just monsters, that were just incredible athletes that could just kick the ball a mile without even trying. I was not one of those guys. I had to put a lot of effort into my technique and my athleticism, whatever I had, But my point was that I'm very, very passionate about what I did, and I wasn't supposed to play in the NFL at my size. I didn't fit that stature of the NFL athlete. So I'm really focused on wanting to help kids out and prove to them that they can actually do a lot better than they even think they can, because that was me. I never really had a goal of playing in the NFL. My goal was to be as good as I could be and take every day at a time and just kind of learn and challenge myself and get as good as I can be. And whatever level I get to, when I'm doing that, then great, I've succeeded, But the NFL happened to be the level that I got to, and obviously that was, icing on the cake, really. So I just want to, just tell these kids that and show them, and I'll be 50 in May, mm-hmm. So and I'm still kicking. I was out kicking today, so I'm able to still do it, and I think these kids they don't know their potential, and that's really where I'm trying to drive the point with my academy. Is I'm really excited to share what can get them to whatever level they can, achieve with this technique. So I'm just real passionate about it. I love doing it.
Well, it's funny you say that because we have a guy that's not here, but he drinks a lot and he eats too much. Maybe we get him out to your academy so you can teach him, and maybe he loses a little bit of pounds, or maybe if he doesn't, we bend him over and you kick him in the ass because that's what he needs.
But, maybe he'll pull off a Charlie Brown.
That's true, too.
Do that.
Well, he's not here. That's why it's so fun to pick on him. But we pick on him when he's here anyway, so it's great. So why don't we get into your NFL career? What was it like to play in the NFL for 9 years? You were saying you were 5'7", 5'8", and 100 and nothing. But the fact is, being in the NFL for 9 years isn't is something to brag about, and it isn't something to be shameful about. What was it like playing in the NFL all those years?
Well, as a kicker, you're the only one on the field that's kicking the football. Obviously, you got a punter that does it as well. And sometimes you have a kickoff specialist, or if it's a punter doing kicking off as well. But regardless, you're on the field. You're the kicker. The team is relying on you. The pressure's there just because of the level of play you're at. The expectation level is off the charts, not only from your coaches, but, kind of your teammates. I mean, they kind of understand because they're on the field too. They make mistakes. Coaches, they don't understand mistakes. They don't think they're possible. Like, how in the world can you miss that kick? That's all you do. So I get that. I've got that at times. I won't say I got a lot, but I've got that at times when I've missed an important kick. But fortunately, I didn't miss many. I can only really think of one kick that I missed that cost us the game. I've made plenty of game winner, winning kicks in my career, but it is very stressful mentally and physically being a kicker. But as I tell everyone, someone's got to do it. I just fell in love with kicking, and I challenged myself really. And so that's kind of the thing is, each game I approach it the same. I'm going to do the best that I can personally. If I do great and the team wins, that's awesome. Again, another icing on the cake. If I do great and we still lose, I'm upset that we lost. If I was 100% of my kicks and good kickoffs and all that, if I'm satisfied with the game, then in my mind I'm okay with it. We lost, it sucks, but I personally did okay, and I'm going to carry that into the next week. So, answer your question, straight up, man. It's stressful as to be a kicker, but I enjoyed it. I love the pressure. I was kind of a wreck on game day. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous, but overall, I just love the pressure, and I love playing well, and I love winning games.
So we're based out of Long Island and based out of New York. So there's a lot of Giants fans listening, including myself, who got to watch Tom Coughlin coach. You got to play for Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville. So what was it like being coached by Tom Coughlin? And was he really as much of a hard ass in Jacksonville as a lot of people perceive? Because it's always perceived that he got kind of softer, more lenient as he got towards the Giants' career.
Oh, I've got some great answers for you. Yes, he was very disciplined. And, at the younger ages, when guys are young and, we just like, what's going on? This guy's just like a dictator. And, what's up with all these rules? And, there was some, in my opinion, silly rules, finable rules, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Now that you're not playing football, if you get fined $1,000, that's a lot of money. But back then, whatever, just take out my check, no big deal. Goes to charity anyways, right? Supposedly. Anyways.
Maybe his charity, because we did a lot of stuff for his charity.
Exactly. He's finding everybody, No, but, the rules were tough. He was very disciplined. But you're looking back, man, you're like, man, he did some good stuff. He was like that Vince Lombardi. The players loved him, but they hated him kind of thing. It's a love-hate relationship kind of thing. But, he's influenced my life as I am today. Just being on time, being very disciplined, being accountable. There's a lot of things that run through my head on a daily basis. I think that I can think of that, that I do in my daily life that, that brings me back to the times I played. And I guess you guys don't realize this, but I was on the Giants roster.
Yes, 2003.
I signed a 5-year deal with the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was back when Jim Fossil was coaching. So that was Jim Fossil's last year. So backtracking, playing for Coughlin, it was kind of tough and all that. I go to Buffalo, play a year there. Then I move on to play with the Giants. I was injured in preseason that first year, got on injured reserve, had a surgery. I've had 4 back surgeries. So I was on injured reserve that whole year. And at the end of the season, when they fired Fossil and we're talking about hiring Coughlin, I'm like, well, there goes my 5-year deal. I would have just used one of it. I know I'm out of here because Tom didn't resign me in Jacksonville. So I knew that my time was limited there. Pretty sure that I was going to get fired as soon as he was hired. And that's what happened, really. But I was in the training room doing some rehab, and I can't remember who it was. It was a younger player sitting next to me. And Tom Coughlin was doing his press conference as the newly announced head coach of the New York Giants. And we're watching it in the training room. The guy's kind of nodding his head. And he's like, yeah, man, I kind of like this guy. And then kind of turned over, looked at me and said, hey, you played for him in Jacksonville, right? How was that? And I'm like, I said, you see the TV we're watching right now? We're sitting here in the training room watching this TV right now. I said, when he gets hired, I'll give it maybe 2 weeks. These TVs all in here in the locker room, they're all gone. They're going to be gone. Those TVs are gone. Just, I promise you. And I was right. Within 2 weeks, the TVs were gone. And I said, okay, well, you like him, you love him, but you're probably going to hate him for a little while at least. But, and then, Michael Strahan had some words in Tiki, I think, with Tom. I wasn't around, obviously, because I was released and fired. But the rumor is, of course, that they kind of, sat him down and said, listen, you got to chill out on some of this stuff. So whether it worked or not, I don't know. And I think Tom in his older age just kind of, learned a little bit about players and how to treat them differently. But he still was very disciplined. I'm pretty sure in New York, the Giants, he was very disciplined.
As you guys know, we are talking to former Jaguars and Bills kicker and president of Pro Form Kicking Academy, Mike Hollis. He also was part of the Chargers organization. He was also, again, as you heard, he was part of the Giants organization for a little bit as well. So
good thing you got out of the kicking curse of the Chargers. Ever since Nate Kading tore his ACL,
he hates the Chargers.
Ever since Nate Kading tore his ACL, they haven't had a good kicker.
That was my first experience in the NFL. That was just a rookie training camp. I competed against John Carney and damn near beat him out as a rookie, right? But no, I learned a lot from John, and I learned a lot from the organization. Junior Seau was a guy on the team. I looked up to him as a leader, just kind of in awe of that, you know. And Stan Humphries was our quarterback. You know, Darren Bennett was the Australian punter, you know. But it was good times. You know, the time I was there was awesome.